Time for some action. Enemies in sight. Let's clear the horizon. I hope this is not the final destination. No need for arguing here. Your hull is broken. All right, early bird gets the worm.
Ouch. That definitely had to hurt. 3 bomb hits, 3 citadels. Holy moly. I do apologize for the noise in the background, but this is the HMS Hermes, which has the new carrier update. And if you look, there's more bombs being dropped. This is so it helps increase accuracy of players who use CVs. That is the most devastating strike I've ever seen, that I've ever personally ever dropped. And I've dropped some pretty devastating ones. So,
Go Team Green! Well, it's blue, but for the purpose of this
he isn't.
celebration.
Yeah, he's not. That Diane is not long for this world. Unfortunately, he backed himself right into a little corner. I'm not sure how he got in there, but he is. Yeah, he's done. Unfortunately. So, thanks for playing. GG's. I didn't finish him, but that torpedo will. Okay, so it looks like most of yeah, all the enemies are on that side actually. We just let them have that side. So that the Victoria is at least playing decoy. So, but I do apologize for the noise in the background. I'm going to go ahead and take the mic off so you guys don't have to hear this. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay.
Engage autopilot. We're on our way. Hang tight. No need for autopilot here. Five minutes to go. Engage autopilot. No need for autopilot here. Born to win. That's what McMurdochs are.
Now, as you can see, I used bombs a lot and I never really ran out of planes. The restoration time is much faster. Also, the reason why I'm using the Hermes is if you noticed that instead of dropping bombs from one plane, it now has a fighter bomb of 2, and it drops 3 bombs per plane. So you're more likely to hit a target instead of just doing 1 torpedo drop. Also, it's 2 torpedo drops instead of 1 at a time. The reason I think they did this mainly because of the fuel gauge. You would never get to all 4 drops. You just wouldn't. And if you look at it a couple times, like I just went to spot, okay, well my fuel gauge is about to drop, no point in trying to drop anything, just go move on to the next set of planes. But yeah, so this is, I'm just trying out some of my favorite carriers at each tier. I've tried the Hermes, I've tried the Langley, um, the Cosmo, or how you pronounce this, the Russian CV Tier 3. I've tried the HMS Furious, I've tried the Graf Zeppelin, and yeah, so the thing that CV players are going to have to adjust is if you saw, I was moving around a lot. I was moving around the whole game. I didn't just sit there, bomb. This is what this new um, these new updates are going to do is because they don't want carrier players sitting in the back. They want them to be able to become vulnerable, so that way. And there is a fuel gauge. So some of these CV players that I've played against this morning, they're hanging out in the back, and they're not doing very well because they cannot. They can probably bomb or torpedo once, unless there's a ship right on top of them. So it's best to start moving immediately. You're probably not going to launch your planes as soon as you get into the map. Like, oh, I'm going to go spot. Also, if you look on this one, you see I got one of them because it was the destroyer itself that at the end is detected by plane. So that does not mean anybody on the main map can see it. It means that on the mini map it'll show up. Um, so the only way to actually for a ship to target another ship is ship to ship, you know, spotting. Plane to ship spotting does not. So I can't hover around a destroyer and say, "Hey guys, ping it, shoot here, shoot here." That doesn't work anymore. All they're gonna see if they're trying to fire at anything is nothing. It'll be like it's invisible. It'll be on the minimap, but it will be invisible unless they're within range to spot it themselves. So, but what at least can do is have people at least going in the right direction, or if somebody's trying to get away from one of them, like if they're low health and they're trying to heal or whatever, they at least, okay, don't go that way, go around the other way. So that will at least help out there. Um, and as you can see, the bombs from this thing do some serious damage. They even lessened how much damage these are supposed to do, but some carriers are just it's gonna help out a lot. So, but yeah, so my initial take on this it's okay. Um, I'm a CV main, so I think it's gonna be okay. It will force carrier players into the closer into the fight where they can be targeted, which I don't really like because carrier. And granted, this is okay. So this opinion of mine is coming from a place of history. You ships never saw carriers ever. You'd see the planes. So all the massive air battles in the Pacific theater, for the most part, it was all plane to ship, plane to ship. It was the entire, for example, the entire Battle of Midway. No ship ever saw each other. Maybe like a spotting ship, but not really. It was how the enemy found out where the Enterprise was because of a random spotter plane for the Japanese. So they knew where they were. And for the American side, they had decoded it, so they were able to figure out, they knew exactly where they were. But you never saw a ship fire on another ship. It was always plane to ship. So my thing, even though this is a game, it should still have that element of where I'm not going to have to, because of my fuel, have to be right in the fight. So because that's not what carriers do. Carriers are supposed to spot. Well, you can't really do that anymore. Carriers are supposed to deal a significant amount of damage to enemy ships. That's still okay. That's still fine. I don't mind it. It was doing fine. Even against not a single battleship in this map, it did fine against cruisers. And usually I dread having to bring in. Oh, I'm going to be using torpedoes the whole time. But from previous games, I'm like, okay, well the bombs, because there's more bombs being dropped, I have at least a likelihood to at least hit it at least once, which I'm okay with. Not all bombs are gonna be perfect. No, it's not like all 9 bombs or whatever are gonna hit the target every time. So I'm okay with that. The fuel gauge, I think, is not high enough. I think they should take a look at that. I believe tier 3 should be a 40-kilometer range. I believe tier 5 should be a 50-kilometer range. And tier 7 and should be 60, and I believe the carriers at the legendary should be 70. Because I'm sorry, a real plane can fly. I don't have, I'm gonna exaggerate, but I'm sure I'm not too far off. Hundreds of kilometers on a single tank. At some point, they say, okay, all right, we're almost to the point of no return. We need to start turning back. So that's fine. So if they want to, if that's what they're trying to do is half it, okay, well, you flew 30 kilometers, so you need another 30 kilometers to get back to. It's not realistic. But again, this is a game. This is my opinion on it. I think the fuel gauge kilometers should be increased. Another thing is I've noticed my planes, especially the Russian planes, they have taken a huge hit to survivability. They were not really that great to survive anyway, but they are now more survivability. I'm getting shred. Okay, so tier 3, I'm getting shredded by a tier 4 Texas, and the tier 4 Texas has okay AA, but not. It's just shredding the crap out of the planes. So normally I get maybe one drop off. Like out of the 4 planes that make it there, only one actually gets to drop by the time it gets into AA range. That's kind of ridiculous to me. Because it was already bad before, now it's even worse because the health has gotten worse. Um, so I think they should evaluate that. I think like the reason why I'm playing with the British is because they have the highest overall health for their planes, not the Americans, the British. When I have 2299 from HE, 2120, and say Comoso, whatever how you pronounce it, is 1180, 1185. It's half of that. And then here's the Americans. So you would think would have the highest, but they're no. 1725. They're up there, but they're not the highest. Whoops. The Rhine was right up behind it. Let's look at this one. So these are. I'm missing only the German carrier. 2000. So it still didn't even make. It still doesn't even match the health of the tier 3 British planes. So let's look at the Furious. This is my favorite. Over 3,000 hit points. Now, this hit point is for the whole squadron, not individual plane. But obviously that means, okay, well, if the squadron hit points went up, that means the individual plane hit points went up. And then here's the Serov. That's terrible. And again, they only get one drop, so because it's a one flight. Then we go to, I tried the Graf Spade today as well. The Lexington is supposed to have higher than normal health, but I haven't really did this, so this is probably going to affect it. Yeah, this is good. This is going to affect it. But this is just the base, including the any buff that Ernest King is giving them. Here's the Saipan. Saipan is a little bit higher. Graf Zeppelin, higher. I have no idea why I don't have the British tier 7. Interesting. Yeah, look at that. If that's at tier 7, these planes will never survive. They're gonna get shredded. Also, if you look, the attack size instead of 6 planes, it's now 7. Also, the flight range is minuscule. So this will force this. I mean, granted, if you think about it, 27 kilometers for 7 planes, 1 drop. Okay, I can live with that. But when you have 31 kilometers for, you could have up to 3 drops with this one and up to 4 drops with this one. That's not enough. Also, if you look how fast these things go, 249 knots at full top speed. That is crazy. Also, when I tried AP bomb, so normally yesterday when I was playing before the update happened, I was getting citadels on every single strike. So because they increased the number of bombs, so if we look bombs in payload, so each plane now drops 2 bombs, which. So instead of dropping 2 bombs on a run, you're dropping 4 bombs on a run, which is fine. But the penetration has gone down. The damage has gone down. So I think I dropped 4 or 5 times just for practice on the. And honestly, you should if you're a newer CV player or even a CV veteran like myself, you should practice either in training rooms or practice in just so that way you get materials and stuff like that. Practice in a against AI. So I was practicing against AI, and I got 5 bomb drops off, only have 1 citadel out of the 5 drops. Well, yesterday I had 5 drops and I had 5 citadels. So, and then the midway, I think the midway and the Japanese equivalent to it, they had some different buffs for them. Like it seriously buffed them. Yeah, so look at the health. It's crazy. It's not even a lot. But anyway. But look, aircraft per squadron is 10 instead of 8, I believe. It used to be 8. And attack per squadron 12 instead of I think it was 9. So it went up full flight squad. 38 kilometers, 36 kilometers. So bombs and payload. 4 bombs and a payload. So you have an attack squadron of 3 planes. So instead of 3 bombs, you're getting 12 bombs. So that's crazy. This one is still the 2 torpedoes per payload, which hasn't changed. It's the same. Same thing with the Saipan. But that's crazy. This gives some more breakdown of how fast aircraft restoration. If you look at it, is 15 seconds for the dive bombers, 20 seconds for the torpedo bombers. That is insane. So every 15 seconds I'm getting a plane back. I will never run out of planes. Ever. The reason why they did this restoration is so because normally like I would pre-drop so that way I save 2 planes or 3 planes or how many planes are in that group. So I can have them later. But no, they reduced the restoration time immensely so you don't have to keep doing that. But I might try this one out. Since this one has a way longer kilometer range, I may not have to get as close, which is good because if I get any close, I'm going to get shredded by any of the tier 10 stuff. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy. This is just me talking, and it's an unofficial video of some of the changes to carriers. Or actually, all the changes to carriers. And at least if you get spotted by a plane, it's not instant death where everyone shoots at you, unless they have range on you. Or they can, actually it's not even range, if they can see you. They have to be able to see you. Planes. So there's no more spotting the way we knew it. However, this will benefit battleship mains against cruisers, where cruisers would throw up their little AA plane, which lasts about 90 seconds normally, unless you have a modifier to increase it or decrease it, like Arthas will decrease it. Some are, I think some are, well, I think there's one or maybe two. I think there's one that increases it. It has its main ability where it'll increase it. But anyway, but those AA planes do not spot anymore. It'll show them on a mini map, but it won't spot. You can't like, oh, throw up my plane. I'm gonna smoke. Kind of like the. So this is really gonna affect the Italian battleships that you would go in your smoke, your rolling smoke, and you throw up your planes. So you see, kind of see where everybody is. So what it will do is it'll show people on minimap, but it will not show you. Um, it won't show you, so you can't shoot at them. So someone else on your team will have to spot them, ship to ship. So this will force carry these it'll at least change the tactics of how to play a cruiser. So, but I hope you guys enjoy. I will be dropping more videos today. I might do a stream later, since I did not do one yesterday. I'm honestly trying to complete the entire first week, and then I'll probably buy out the campaign. So I think I might buy out the campaign because I really, 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 really want to use that cruiser and really see how that. Actually, let me pull it up here real quick. So this is the campaign ship, this cruiser. It's a Dutch cruiser. They're adding them to the game. But the thing I want to use is right here. Ammunition. So it's under ammunition. It's not a consumable, which is good. So you can use it as many times as you want as long as it restores. So like these reload in 6.5 seconds. This reloads in 65 seconds. So squadron restoration time. You get 3 total squadrons, 24 bombs in a payload, 12 kilometer maximum attack range, 5,800 maximum bomb damage, 34 millimeter armor piercing, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. 33% chance to set fire and a 14-second payload delivery time. So it looks, when on the thing, it looked like it was being parachuted down. So either that, they're just so high up that it's ridiculous. But I really, really want to try this mechanic. This is a PC thing. Also, for those that aren't aware, how you deploy these, it's the same way you deploy depth charges in PC. It's the same mechanic. Pretty close to the same mechanic. Which means it's a people have been talking, it's the gossip, it's the oh my god, they're coming, maybe, who knows, but this is kind of the same mechanic. It's teaching you how to do this. So it's not a surprise when they drop them of submarines coming to the game. And I wouldn't be opposed to it. A lot of people are opposed to it. A lot. A lot. Because you thought destroyers were sneaky. Subs are sneakier. That's their whole job, to be stealth, get in, knock something out, and get the hell out. So I don't think they may add it to it. I don't know how, because I've watched on PC how submarines work. It should be interesting. Sorry, excuse me. So it should be interesting if they do that. But it is, I have been informed that the aerial HE bomb mechanic, how it drops, is the same way, close to the same way how you would drop depth charges. So that being said, so I'm really hoping I get this girl today. I might buy it out this week. I might buy it out next week, but we shall see. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate it. Please leave a like. And you guys, I'll see you on the high seas.
Hello, sunshine. Answer your phone. Wait for it.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
What are the babies doing?
They both just finished breakfast. Wyatt is in the bedroom, going down for a nap since he's been up really early like he normally is. Uh, Natalie is in her room. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
She got her iPod, doesn't she?
No, I have it.
She called me yesterday
Uh-huh.
and said something about Spotify, do this. I was like, I don't have a Spotify account. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
You need to talk to your dad about Spotify.
So what was she asking about it?